Joan Cartan-Hansen. Thank you for joining us for this Dialogue Web Extra. We're talking about a new way of thinking about preventing child abuse and neglect. It's called Strengthening Families. Judy, thank you for being here. Judy Langford is from Strengthening Families. I appreciate you taking time for this Web Extra. Let me ask you about tough economic times. You know, in our regular 30-minute program, we talked about what Strengthening Family is and a new way of looking at child prevention. But in times when economic times are tough, we know there's more families go at risk. What are you seeing out there?
Well, I think a lot of families, you know, whether you call that at risk or what, families are under stress, and there's a lot of stress around them. Even if things have not happened in your household, it's happening to your relatives, your friends, and kids are really, really good at picking up what's going on. And I think one of the things that people have been talking about a lot is how to just remember to pay attention to what's going on from that child's point of view. Remember to pay some attention to them. Remember that, you know, your own fears and your own stress are communicated to them in a way. And as you begin to look at how are we doing as a family and how are we paying attention to that child's development in the midst of all this other stuff is a really important thing, I think.
How do you decide how much you can tell a child about a tough economic crisis?
I don't think it's so, and you remember we're talking about kids 0 to 5.
Right.
And I think some of it is just remember to take some time with them, to read a book. They don't need to know, it doesn't cost anything. Read a book, go to the park, but really just paying a lot of attention to what's going on with them. That child's brain development is going on every single minute. And there's no time to waste when you're a parent of a very young child. But it's being really intentional about that, about paying attention to what's going on with them in their own world.
The Strengthening Families movement talks about getting, we were talking the duh moment. There's simple things that don't cost a lot that can make a true difference in helping to prevent child abuse and neglect or child maltreatment. Give me an example.
Well, I think there are a couple of things. Two of the protective factors. One is parental resilience, and the other one is social connections. And I think tough times make us all feel like, you know, it doesn't cost that much to have dinner with friends, to have family time. That can be really fun and really important. And that's not such a bad thing for us to remember. And I think the resilience part is just to remember that we can get through that, and to communicate that in ways that are helpful to our extended networks of friends and family. Just remember that all together, I think.
So families under stress, economic stress, look to social connections. Don't forget those social connections.
Absolutely.
And child care centers can help not fund it, but provide roads toward more social connections.
And I think part of that is also just reaching out to those opportunities. There are lots of churches, there are lots of organizations, there are lots of just informal networks of people who are getting together and helping each other out. And that's the kind of thing that we like to think that we're about anyway. But I think what Strengthening Families has taught us is to just be more intentional about seeing that and about reaching out. Both to offer to somebody else, but also to ask for some help if you really need it, because they are tough times, and there are people out there, your friends and family and other people are really willing to help out if they just know that you need a little help.
And if people want more information about the Strengthening Movement action, what should they do?
They can go on our website. It's strengtheningfamilies.net. There's every living thing that we've ever written about on there. But there's also, in most states, in 30 states, there's a Strengthening Families leadership team, there's Strengthening Families training, there's Strengthening Families something going on in all of those states. And the Children's Trust Funds in each state, in Idaho, the Idaho Children's Trust Fund is one place where you can go to get that kind of information.
Well, Judy, we've run out of time. Thank you very much. I appreciate you staying on for this Web Extra.
You're welcome.
And thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time here on the web for our next Web Extra.